Hello everyone, Jeff Green here with another market analysis and market timing update in preparation for week 12, which starts on March 21, 2022. So I'm going to switch up. I'm going to do a small market analysis here, and then I'm going to go through some stocks and ETFs that you might be interested in at least watching if you haven't already taken on positions. Um, so let's look at the week here. So early in the week, we had another little pullback in this area on Monday, and then a push up on Tuesday. And this action was pretty much based on the Fed announcement and the Fed meetings during the week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, of course, saw this massive push up above the trend line that we've been talking about since this period back here, which is the early part of the year, and even going back to late November. So if you had watched last week's, I suggested that you watch for a close above this line, and that's exactly what happened on Wednesday. Then we got another push up, like I said, Thursday, Friday. I'm a little concerned about the volume, but we'll see what happens the beginning part of this week. MACD is still below zero, but getting stronger. The unbalanced volume is moving up sharply. That's a good sign. And there's a little bit of good news on the advanced decline lines. If you sort of draw a trend line here, on the New York Stock Exchange, we're above that trend. And even if you look at, well, this trend goes all the way back here, but if you look at the trend on the NASDAQ advanced decline line, it's looking a little positive there also. And also we've got the DI plus almost breaking of the DI minus, which is one of the a key signal that needs to line up. If you look at the weekly chart over here, we got a big strong week. The volume is about the same as the down week last week, but the price move up was certainly almost twice the down move. So even though the volumes are concerned, I don't think it's a major concern at this point. And all these indicators here are improving, not yet positive, so the weekly trend is still a little bit of question. But I think for swing traders and even longer term investors, you might want to start putting on new positions. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. Please consult your financial advisor. This is just my thoughts and what I'm doing. So I hope this helps. Please like and subscribe if it does. And I'm going to now erase this, and I'm going to go through what I think are potentially key stocks for this coming week. Let me get my pointer back, and I'll get another chart up. So here's a chart of Halliburton. On the weekly basis, you can see it's pretty strong on volume. On balance volume is looking up, and the DMI crossed late December, early January. So if you were watching alerts on my website, then you would have caught this alert, right in this area here. If you missed the first one, let me get my pen back. If you missed the first one, which is right here, you would have found it on the weekly alerts. Then there was another one on the daily alerts that came out right after earnings here, where you can clearly see that it had another push up on increasing volume. The MACD is looking a little bit volatile, but the price moves up, and the on balance volume was looking pretty good all the way back to this date here. And of course, the DMI plus is above the DMI minus. So let me show you where you could have got these alerts. If you go to my profitable swing trading website, you would have found this page right here, and you can quite clearly see that on January 25, which was the date we were just looking at for the second daily alert, there's our friend Halliburton right there. So paying attention to these alerts can pay off if you go and look at the stock chart and make sure they're conforming with the alert. So this came out on January 25. Like I mentioned, January 25 was when we got this other push up here. So let's go through some more favorite stocks that's on my watch list. Like I said, I'm not a registered advisor. This is what I'm doing, and I took on some positions on these stocks earlier in the week. That's Halliburton. This is Murphy. Oil and gas. Oil and gas continue to move up. Look at the volume on up days here. It's pretty positive. All the other indicators line up. So Murphy Oil is a good candidate. Arch is in the oil and gas. It also managed to stay pretty good on this whole down pull that we've had since late last year, and it's just going to trip, or has tripped, a 3x8 alert in this area. So let me get back to my chart here. Okay, another one is UAN, which is in the chemicals business. It took a big shot up. So this might be a little extended for now, but I think the stock should be on your watch list. AA, Alcoa Aluminum. Again, you can see that it's resisted the down pull in the market, which is why I suggest you watch my weekly stock list. This is tripping another alert here. It tripped it back here in the beginning of February. MACD is getting above zero, which is a good sign. And of course, we got the DMI plus above DMI minus. My next stock is STLD, Steel Dynamics. Again, this had a big push up. It tripped the daily alert back in this area. It might be a little bit extended, but I think this stock deserves watching. MCIR, which is in the hotels and restaurant business. That's another stock that has not really skipped a beat. It's back on its weekly trend here. And TLK, which is diversified telecom. This is an Indonesia stock, so might give your portfolio some international flavor. Okay, so that's it for the stocks. Let's go through some ETFs that look interesting to me. This is the Russell 1000 Growth. If you want to see if you can get on an early train, I think this is a strong indication here of interest in growth stocks. Here's the S&P 500 Growth ETF. That's almost the same chart. We've got the Tech ETF here, and we all know what's happened to tech over the last few months. This might be a good time to get back into tech positions, and if you're looking at ETF, IYW is a good candidate to consider. We got the Energy ETF, and it was quite extended up in this area, but now it's in a pullback mode. It looks like it might be tripping an alert here if the increase continues in oil prices. XLK is a good technology ETF. XOP is a good oil and gas ETF. Portfolio SPYG, that's similar to the other growth ETF that we looked at. Here's XME, which is metals and mining. Again, that didn't skip a beat. It's been flat since late January, and then you had this breakout, and then you would have got an alert here on my website. United States Oil Fund, it got extended up in this area, but now looks like it's in a good place for a pullback. We've got Brent Oil ETF, same story there, and then Vanguard Dividend Appreciation, which looks like it might be resurrecting from the downtrend. So those are a few of the items that I took positions in and are watching again for next week. I think if we go back to VTI here, let me just bring that up. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if we got a little bit of a pullback to test this breakout. I can easily imagine prices sort of doing this sort of thing back to a level of support, maybe there. And then if it shoots up out of there, I think we're back on safer ground. But I would watch that closely. I wouldn't jump into the market with both feet if you took some positions out. I think it deserves watching. But I think that's looks like it's in the cards. So we'll have to wait and see what transpires next week. I still think this is a news-driven market, so anything is on the table. It depends on what the Russian-Ukraine conflict turns out to be. And then, of course, we've got other global players that could bring some news to the market that could change all this. So I know I'm not a registered representative, but I think that if you buy solid stocks on a day that the market is moving up, I think that's a relatively good idea for this week's activities. That's what I'm going to be doing, but you need to consult your financial advisor. There's lots of opportunities starting to show up, so please stay tuned for next week's, and I hope you have an awesome week trading. Thanks again.